John is a quiet 13-year-old boy who lives with his parents, Brad and Anna, and his older sister, Lori. The next day, John flies his drone near a forest. While searching for it after it becomes stuck in a tree, he discovers a large man-made hole hidden among the trees. After retrieving the drone, he returns home and quietly continues his daily routine. At breakfast, he tells his family about the hole, but they assume he's referring to an abandoned underground bunker nearby. Although his parents repeatedly ask whether he's okay, John insists that everything is fine. As the days pass, John's behavior becomes increasingly strange. He spends time observing people rather than interacting with them. One afternoon, he watches the family gardener, Charlie, working in the yard. When Charlie is distracted, John secretly puts a substance into his lemonade. Later, Charlie collapses on his way home. John calmly checks whether he is unconscious and slips small packets into his pocket before walking away. That night, John secretly sedates his entire family. Once they are asleep, he drags them out of the house and transports them to the abandoned bunker he discovered in the forest. When they wake up the next morning, they find themselves trapped deep underground with no way out. Brad quickly realizes that John is missing and begins suspecting something terrible has happened. Meanwhile, John continues living alone in the family home as if nothing unusual has occurred. He answers phone calls, lies to visitors, withdraws money from his father's bank account, and cooks meals for himself. When his mother's friend Paula visits, John calmly tells her that the family rushed away to visit his grandfather in the hospital. Although she finds his story suspicious, she leaves without investigating further. Back in the bunker, Brad, Anna, and Lori desperately try to escape. Lori becomes frustrated and confused, unable to understand why her younger brother would do something so cruel. Anna refuses to believe John could intentionally hurt them, while Brad grows increasingly angry. John regularly visits the bunker, lowering food and supplies down to them. Despite their pleas, he refuses to explain himself. Sometimes he simply stares at them silently before leaving. His family tries everything to get answers, but John remains emotionally distant. At the same time, another storyline unfolds involving a lonely girl named Lily. She lives with her mother, who appears emotionally detached and overwhelmed by life. One day, Lily's mother shocks her by announcing that she is leaving permanently. Despite Lily's desperate pleas, her mother drives away, abandoning her with some money and instructions to survive on her own. As weeks pass, the family's situation inside the bunker worsens. Food becomes limited, water must be rationed, and emotions run high. Yet surprisingly, moments of connection still occur. Brad and Lori joke with one another to stay positive. Anna reflects on conversations she once had with John about growing up. Outside, John's isolation deepens. He spends time with his friend Peter, pretending everything is normal. He buys food, plays video games, practices tennis, and listens to ocean sounds alone in the house. Yet cracks begin to appear in his calm exterior. He struggles to connect with others and becomes increasingly emotional. Paula eventually becomes convinced that something is wrong and contacts the police. However, John manages to avoid being caught. Even his tennis coach notices that something is off. When the coach asks about John's mother and unpaid training fees, John insists everything is fine. The coach encourages him to focus on tennis and make his own choices in life. These words seem to affect John deeply, and meanwhile, conditions inside the bunker continue deteriorating. The family becomes hungry and exhausted. They desperately wait for John's visits because he is their only source of food. Anna begins worrying that something terrible may have happened to him. Despite being trapped, her maternal instincts remain stronger than her anger. One day, Oliver, a family friend, visits the house looking for Brad. John speaks with him and offers him food, but Oliver declines and leaves. Afterward, John prepares a risotto meal by carefully following an online tutorial. He lowers the food into the bunker, along with a bottle of Brad's favorite wine. For the first time, John sits above the hole and shares a meal with his family, even though they remain separated. While eating, he tells them about his tennis practice and how many serves he completed. His family barely reacts because they are more concerned about survival than sports. Still, this small moment shows that John desperately wants a connection with them. That night, John's emotional walls finally begin to crumble. He drives around alone, crying silently. Later, he wanders through the forest carrying a flashlight. The loneliness he has been hiding for so long becomes overwhelming. The next morning, he returns to the bunker and finds his family asleep. Watching them, he breaks down in tears. Lori wakes up and notices him crying. Instead of criticizing him, she gently thanks him for the risotto and tries to comfort him. Her kindness finally reaches him. After weeks of silence and emotional distance, John realizes the pain he has caused. Moments later, the family hears a sound they never expected. John has placed a ladder into the bunker. Shocked and relieved, Brad, Anna, and Lori quickly climb out. Their nightmare is finally over. They return home together, with Lori running ahead. When she sees John floating motionless in the swimming pool, she panics and screams. The family rushes toward him, fearing the worst, but John is alive. No one fully explains what happened or why John trapped them in the bunker. Instead, the family quietly begins rebuilding their lives. Together, they fill the hole with dirt so that no one else can ever become trapped there. That evening, they sit down and eat dinner together as a family, almost as if they are trying to start over. In the final scenes, Lily is seen walking alone through the forest, abandoned and searching for her place in the world. Her loneliness mirrors John's own struggles. The film ends on a thoughtful note, exploring childhood, isolation, family, and the complicated emotions that come with growing up. If you like the video, please subscribe to the Chanel MJ Recaps. And press the bell icon. We are so close to 1,000 subs. Thanks for watching.